Don't feel fun that. What did I tell you guys? I told you we'd be back on the couch, and we're back on the couch.
Big comfy couch.
We've never been here before.
Yeah, there's no back. We're just here. First and foremost, first time for everything.
There's a first time for everything, and we finally met in person after all these years.
It's a pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, you guys. Thank you for tuning into another episode of The I World. I'm your host, Talia, co-host, and I'm here with...
I'm Brittany.
She's just a special guest. Okay, so today's episode, we're really going to be debriefing the big day.
The big old day.
Because there's a lot of things before and after, and really the after is what I can't wait to get into. That I didn't say. No. Okay. I'm not scared face. With the
floor? Okay.
We have to.
Okay.
And good thing we have your phone, because you have it on your phone.
Have what?
The messages.
Yeah, but like, oh my God. Talk about like a trauma dump. Like,
No, we have to.
Okay.
Because that's next level. I've actually never experienced something like that before in my life.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're new here, I got married August 31st, and I had a destination wedding. So yeah, let's do a little debrief.
Yeah. No. And open your phone.
Okay.
We can go in order. We don't have to like jump right to the after. I just needed that to be a part of this.
Okay. So wedding debrief. Okay, I understand what we're doing here. If you're thinking about, if you're getting married and you don't know where to start, being a bride and planning a wedding is simultaneously like...
how did you...
Simultaneously like the most exciting and fun like chapter of life. Well, I don't know of life, but like of life.
She hasn't had a child yet. So
I haven't had a kid yet.
Yeah.
That one's probably really fun. But like it's so fun and exciting, but it's also very like overwhelming and can be very lonely because no one cares about your wedding as much as you as the bride. So when I first was like planning the wedding and everything, I didn't really know, like I went back and forth. I kind of always knew I wanted to have a destination wedding, but then people kind of get in your ear and they're like, oh,
because people want to be there and some like,
yeah, people want to be there, but they kind of are like, I think thinking about them.
Yes.
And not thinking about
convenience for them.
Obviously, there's a lot of costs factored into having a destination wedding for your guests. So I think a lot of people who might want to do it
for the guests, but what do they think the bride's paying?
Right.
Like people think like a destination wedding is like the most inconvenient thing that you could do for like your guests. People like, if you say that, I feel like people are like, oh my God, like that's so whatever. And it's like, how much do you think you're paying? If you're paying this much.
But regardless, it's like the wedding is not about anyone except you and your person you're marrying. To make a decision about your wedding day based on what other people think or want or feel is like actually kind of insane, but so many people do it because they like I'm in all of these Facebook bridal groups, which is like a whole episode in itself. But
that's what we should do. We should read them through and react.
Yes,
because those are literally
and give advice. Give advice. Okay.
No, those are literally insane. It's disgusting. Like the things that people are like in a Facebook group chat. This is public. Like people, well, not public, but
pretty public. There's like lots of people in these,
and they're not
groups.
Anonymous, right?
Sometimes they're anonymous.
It's just crazy for people to admit this stuff. Like, it will be like the day before my wedding, I walked in and I caught my husband cheating with, what should I do?
What should I do?
Like, what should I do? Like,
yeah.
It just seems like it's something you would maybe like ask your like your friend or like your family, if that, like close people, not like in a bridal Facebook group chat of a bunch of people who like,
no, like that we have to do that with you. Maybe we'll do that at the end of this wedding debrief.
Pick a couple good ones.
I think so many people make decisions about their wedding based on what they think everybody else wants them to do. Something that I learned is like, if I invite all these people and no one shows up, what would I want? What would I want to be doing? Like, what would I want my wedding day to be? And I live in New York. Well, we live in New York, and it's really expensive to get married here. It's cheaper, actually, to have a destination wedding. But regardless, a wedding is a huge investment. It's a lot of money. And I was like, after a while, I was like, this is what feels right for me. Like, this is what's clicking for me. This is what I could actually picture doing for my wedding.
This is what I always think about. If you, like, had to spend money on something, and, like, I think about, like, my first car, like, having to spend, it wasn't that much money, but having to spend that money, it was a substantial amount of money for me at the time on something I didn't like and had duct tape on the front. versus like then like I would have rather, you know what I'm
Yes,
you know what I'm trying to say. I don't know exactly how to say it, but it's like
if you're spending all this money, it might as well be on something you actually
love.
want. Otherwise,
Yes.
it feels like a waste.
Yes,
So
that's what I meant to say.
I was looking at wedding halls here, and I was like kind of trying to convince myself I liked something that I didn't like. Once I finally figured out where I was getting married and what I was doing, I was like, okay, this feels like this is all clicking. This feels right. This is what I'm doing. And it's crazy because I got married in Cabo and I've never been there before. I don't even know what led me to picking Cabo, but I think part of it that was fun was like never being there before. Like, I think it was kind of fun to go somewhere I've never been before. I had been to like Mexico, but more like south of the border, not the West Coast. I'm actually really glad that I didn't go that route because thinking back, it would have been easier for my guests to travel there than to go west. But I think we had like an amazing time where we went and we loved it.
Go where?
Like Cancun or something.
What's the difference?
It would be like a 3-hour flight instead of a 6-hour flight. Some people would have been, who couldn't do a direct flight, could have gone with it. Once again, this is me going like what was easier for other people. And at a certain point, you just have to do what's best for you, because there were people that I thought like, oh, for sure they'll be there. Like they travel, like whatever. And like making decisions based on other people who like then don't come. It's like, why did I even do this?
Yeah.
Like, you weren't even coming. So you have to make the decision that makes the most sense for you. So that's the first thing, is just like doing what you want to do. And if you want to have a destination wedding, who gives a fuck what anyone else thinks?
Being able to like filter out other people's chatter and just like kind of, it's hard because like other people, you have a million different people in your ear telling you what to do, and just being able to like really just zone back in on what you want to do.
You're going to probably want to like share your ideas with all these people and get people's feedback. But one, it can be kind of disappointing because you want people to match your energy, and like they just can't, because it's not the same for them as it is for you. So like being a bride, I really kind of leaned into like becoming this more independent version of myself and somebody who could make decisions without asking other people's opinions, which is like
That was so cute.
which is like not normal for me. I normally, like kind of an older version of me now, like would have had to run something I was doing by like 10 people. Like that's how I used to be. Now I really just like need to run it by my sister. And that's the other thing, is finding someone who can be that person for you. And I see so many people pick like a maid of honor or like some, whoever is going to be planning the wedding with you, as somebody who like really just can't and doesn't care about it, as like you might not be the same level of like friends that you think you are, or you know what I mean? So I think,
what do you mean?
like sometimes I'll see in these bridal groups that people are like, like their maid of honors will literally be like, I'm sorry, but like I think that you think we're closer than we are, kind of. I was like, I'm telling you.
Wait, but how do they pick them as the maid of honor? Like they
just say like, will you be my maid of
and they're
honor?
like, no.
And people back out, and people like, because it's a financial thing. I mean, I didn't have a bridal party, which is another thing that like I'm happy I didn't, because I really just like, I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of one of those things, like ins and outs of weddings, like they're kind of out, I think.
Yeah.
Like bridal parties kind of out right now, I think. I don't like the idea of like people all up in matching dresses. Like it's just not the vibe. And it's just,
well, that's in general. I feel like matching dresses is out.
Yeah.
In is like different colored dresses that give the same energy.
Yeah. You can still do the things a bridal party would do. Like we still did a bachelorette party that was like so much fun. You can still do everything you want to do. Have a bridal shower, have a bachelorette party. Just find maybe like one person or, 2 people who kind of can be that person for you, but don't feel like you have to do what everyone else is doing because that's like what's normal.
And on Brittany's bachelorette party, just for a debrief, she was literally like acting like somebody was holding her at gunpoint, that she had to make these posts at a certain time. And if it wasn't in real time, then like everyone knew it wasn't in real time, and like everyone's judging her. Or like she was like, I hate when people don't post like exactly like when things are happening. Like she was literally like angry about it. And
wait, I don't remember this.
You don't remember this? And then she'd be like, oh, I feel better. Literally after doing it, I was like, you're literally crazy for that.
I don't remember that.
Every day.
Really?
Yeah, you'd be like, hold on, I need a minute. Like, I need to post this. I need to post this stuff. I need to do a recap. And then, like, you would do your recap, and then you'd be like,
oh, okay.
Now I can exist. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Winnie, stop. She's, like, jealous of Griffin right now.
I mean, I would be, too.
Winnie, you want to come sit with your
for those
mommy?
of you who aren't listening.
Maybe come sit with your mom.
For those of you who aren't watching.
You can sit with mommy.
There's 2 dogs in Brittany's lap. Oh, no. 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 Okay, back to what you're saying.
Okay, I kind of told you guys the story on the last episode of the place having renovations. So you guys kind of know that part in that story already. Overall, like, a lot of people have messaged me and asked me, like, did I like where I had my wedding? And I feel like we liked it. Like, we loved the place.
It was so, there were so many, like, cool accommodations to it. First off, the time of year, is that not a popular time?
Not a popular time,
which I recommend, because it wasn't, like, a bunch of kids everywhere. There wasn't, like, so much, like...
No, the fact that the hotel was having renovations...
It was, like, empty.
It was the best thing that could have happened, because we basically had the place to ourselves.
Meanwhile, the renovations were really, like... I understand you being like, what the fuck? But, like, it really wasn't...
Well, we didn't know till we got there. Like,
it really wasn't...
been horrible.
It wasn't anything.
And also, we were mentally prepared. If we weren't mentally prepared and we walked into it, I think it would have been different.
Yeah.
Like, walking into, like, the lobby, heavily under construction, banging, I was like, if I would have walked into that, I think I would have been like, what the fuck? But also, I don't know, because I am a pretty chill person, I think. So I might have not even really registered it. It was, I think...
That was where the most construction was happening, because it was, like, jackhammers. But also, I need to tell a little story.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first day, and my boyfriend, Al, wanted to go to the gym. So he goes over to go to the gym. I'm staying in the room. He comes back, and because he only had flip-flops on. He's like a shoeless man. Like, he only wears slides. If there's snow on the ground, then he'll put on, like, boots. But literally every other month he's in slides.
March through November he's in slides.
Yeah. So he's just expecting to, like, probably take off his shoes and just work out barefoot. So
that's kind of an odd, like, assumption.
So they sent him back.
Like, if you went to Planet Fitness, you would have to wear sneakers.
But it's just, like, at the gym, he's literally not in shoes all the time. So it's like, it doesn't matter. He comes back and he's like, I can't have shoes, whatever. So there was, like, a supermarket across the street. Where we were in Mexico was, like, very, it was, like, normal to, like, walk around. It wasn't, like, scary.
Safe. It was safe.
Yeah. So we walk across the street to this. It was, like, a supermarket, but they sold, like, washer machines. And, like, they sold refrigerators.
They're
and,
not
like,
called washer machines.
Washing machines. Washing machines. Okay. So they sold...
It's like, wait, what, like, if you have, like, a cabinet and it has, like, these, what do you call them?
A drawer.
But they're drawers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that until college. I thought they were drawers.
Drawers. Well, that's, like, I say, like, crayons, not crayons.
That's not the same.
That's literally the same. So...
That's just, like, pronunciation.
So... Then we walk across the street. How many times am I going to tell them we walked across the street to this superstore? Basically giving Walmart vibes, but the aisle that had shoes in it, he wanted to get sneakers. So the aisle that had shoes in it only had, like, flip-flops. And the only sneakers that he packed were, like, sneakers you wear when you go to dinner. It wasn't, like, athletic sneakers, if that makes sense. Like, nicer sneakers. They weren't, like, comfortable for him to, like, work out in. Then there's a Walmart that was, like, a 5-minute drive away. So we decided that we're going to walk to this Walmart. So it's literally, like, how many degrees?
I don't know.
Like, it was hot. We're in Mexico. Yeah, it's August and we're in Mexico. So we're walking to this place, and now I'm like, okay, make sure you don't, like, make eye contact with anyone that's on the street. Like, it was, like, a nice area where the hotel was, but then it kind of, like, took a little bit of a turn when we started reaching the Walmart. And, you know, Walmart gives that energy anyways of, like, you know, right? Doesn't Walmart give a certain energy?
Yeah.
That was literally the story, was that we walked there and back. So it was 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, walking in this crazy hot weather to get slide-on sneakers
for the gym
that we went to one time. It was just a crazy story. That's it. Back to you.
One of the things that's so fun about the destination wedding, and the reason why I feel like everyone should do it, is, like, yes, your guests are spending money, but you guys are on vacation together. Like, you're literally on, and as the bride and groom, you are on vacation for probably the only time in your life with your friends and both of your families. Like, when will that ever happen? So you have, like, basically one opportunity in your life to go on vacation.
It's not like because we have started a business now, which we could talk about another time, where we do content creation for weddings. We kind of see, like, the behind the scenes of other weddings, and I really feel like Brittany's was the best. Like, the other weddings, it's like you're there for a night and then you leave and you go home. So it's not like a continuation of the party, like, before and after.
The whole act of literally going to the airport, like I was on the same flight as my mom, my sister, her boyfriend, my brother, like one of my best friends, her partner is basically one of my best friends now too. They were our officiants. Like we were all on the same flight together, and then like getting to the hotel, and then like as you're walking around the place, you're like, oh my God, you're here. Like seeing people that you know, it's just so fun. And we were all kind of like staying in the same area of the resort. If you have family members who are traveling to your wedding, like even if it's just in your home state, you're probably not getting to spend a lot of time with them because the week of the wedding, you're busy. Like you are doing last minute phone calls and finishing touches and calls with your vendors, and the day of your wedding goes by so fast. So let's say you're in my situation and you have family from Florida and you have family from Maryland. Like you're only going to get to spend 5 hours with these people, and you're not even really getting to spend time with them. Like the fact that I was able to hang out in the pool with and like hang out with my aunts who came from other states was like the best thing ever. I mean, it was so nice to just be able to actually spend time with these people who were traveling for my wedding, because those people were going to be traveling regardless. So I got to like go to dinners with them and just like create more long lasting memories that I wouldn't have gotten to do if it was just in New York, or like it would have been more difficult for me to do. So we were all like having these fun experiences together for the first time, and it was just the best. Like I genuinely have no regrets about the destination wedding. The one thing I will say is like you might have less people show up. Like I had family members not come that I thought were going to come. I had friends who
She didn't only not have friends show up. She had friends RSVP that they were going to show up and then
just
not come, or RSVP that they were going to show up and then tell her like last minute that they weren't going to come.
I had one friend, and I have no problem telling this story because I don't feel that we're friends anymore. Like, I'm not trying to be...
I don't even know who you're talking about.
So I had a friend who was a friend from high school. And I can't tell all the details of this story because there's some personal information that is not my place to disclose. But what I will say is that if you have a friend who's getting married and you RSVP that you're coming, please don't unless you're going to come, because it's not free for you to come to the wedding. And as the bride, we are more than happy to have you come to the wedding and pay for you to come to the wedding if you're coming. But if you're not coming, don't RSVP that you're coming, because then we're paying for you for no reason. And don't RSVP that you're coming with a guest as well. So especially with a destination, you like pretty much know if you're coming or not, because you have to book your flight and your hotel and all this other stuff. So I had this friend from high school that I invited, and she, a lot of people like just didn't RSVP, which is the fucking weirdest thing ever. So I had to reach out to people and be like, hey, the RSVP is like, day is today. So are you coming or are you not coming? And I gave myself like about 2 weeks leeway. So I made my RSVP date March 31st, but people didn't have to tell me if they were coming. Like I didn't have to actually tell the hotel until April 20th. And then even so, I was still able to make some last minute changes and stuff in July, but I had to like order other things like the seating chart and like all of the stuff for the tables and like make my seating arrangements. And I just like had to know how many people were coming to the wedding. Like what? So, I mean, it's a destination. So I would think that like if you're coming in August, by like March, you should have an idea if you're going to plan to come. This girl, I reached out to her and she's like, oh my God, I totally forgot to answer, but yes, I will definitely be there. Like, you're one of my best friends, like, blah, blah. And I'm kind of sitting here like, I mean, yeah, we were like best friends in high school. Like, that's like really nice of her to like still feel that way and everything. And like, I mean, I'm somebody who shows up for people. So like, if you're inviting me to the wedding and I can be there, I will be there. Like if I have to travel, it doesn't matter, because to me, I know like this is one of the most important days of your life. So if I can be there, I want to try to be there. And obviously it depends, like if you're not really close with someone for you to spend all the money to travel, fine. But this girl literally is like, I really want to be there. Like, of course I'm going to make sure I'm there. And I'm like, okay, great. So do you want me to, so then I think she RSVP'd on her own and said that she was coming. Yeah, she did. She RSVP'd that she was coming with a guest. So now she's not in a like committed relationship or anything, but I think this episode is going to be 2 hours long. I feel that like for a destination wedding, that you should invite everyone with a +1, which might be a controversial take because a lot of people won't invite people with a +1 unless they're in a committed relationship with somebody.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm cracking on the mic for this one. Wait, that's so weird. How does somebody expect to just travel on their own and be like alone?
Well, if you're in like your home state, like not everyone gets a +1 a lot of the time. A lot of people will only give you a +1 if you're like in a relationship with them or if they know your partner.
That's weird.
Well,
I feel like you can't travel to like another
Yes,
state
I agree. But if you're there, I'm just saying in general. I'm saying just like general courtesy of like the wedding, like of a wedding. Like you don't have to invite someone with a +1. You're not entitled to a +1 just because you're going to a wedding.
No, I get that. I think it's like you have to read the room. Like if the person doesn't know anyone, and they're coming like alone,
right?
And they're gonna feel uncomfortable,
right?
They should have somebody there that.
I agree, but not everyone agrees with that. But that I agree. So for me, especially destination, I'm like, okay, they're traveling. So like they have to, whatever. I'm not going to expect them to come to another country by themselves. So I invite her, +1, whatever. She fills in the name. I don't know if it's a boyfriend, whatever. So then I texted her.
No, this is crazy, guys.
I texted her.
I can't believe you're telling this story.
I texted her a few weeks later and was like,
we were just talking about how you don't know who listens to the podcast. Like it's just not people like.
Well, I'm sorry if you listen to this podcast and the story is about you. I'm upset about this. So you never fucking. I'm sorry.
Continue.
So okay, all right. So I can see through my travel agent who booked a room. So I can see who booked the room, who didn't book a room. So all the people who didn't book a room, I'm following up with them. Not just her, like everyone who said they're coming. She's not the only person who RSVP'd and didn't show up. So I text her and I'm like, hey, I just want to make sure you're coming because I like don't know if you booked a room. And obviously you didn't have to book a room through the travel agent, but like most people did because it was like a discounted rate. There was a cutoff for that. It was like, I think that was April 20th was the cutoff. So I wanted to make sure everyone had whatever. So she's like, oh yes, please send me the link so I can book the room, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Weeks go by and it's like I'm nobody's fucking babysitter here. I can't keep texting.
You're no one's babysitter. She was everyone's babysitter.
Yeah.
Every single day she's checking to see if somebody booked a room. Every single fucking day.
Because it's ridiculous. If I didn't check and I paid for all of the seats of the people who RSVP'd they were coming who didn't show up, I already spent hundreds of extra dollars on people who didn't show up for no reason. It's so rude. I mean,
and it's not like these people are like sending a gift or anything to like compensate or cover that. Yeah.
No.
Okay, continue.
So anyway, every time I text this person, she calls me and is on the phone and is telling me like, yes, I'm coming. Oh my God, I wouldn't miss it. Like, it's really important for me to be there, all this stuff. So 3 days out from the wedding now, she has reassured me multiple times that she's coming.
Over the phone.
Over the phone.
Never over text.
I think I might have texted. Actually, let me pull it up to see who made the first move here. If I even have this.
It's probably you.
Oh, also, this is where it was kind of telling, is that we invited her to the bridal shower, and she didn't answer. And then my sister texted her and was like, are you coming? And she was like, oh, I never got the invitation. So I sent her a picture of the invitation, and she was like, yes, I'll definitely be there. And, like, that was the same state. Like,
it was even kind of weird to invite them.
No, you have to invite your friends who you're inviting to the wedding, to the bridal shower.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it was even weird, like, to invite them in general.
To the wedding?
to anything. You haven't seen this person in like 10 years.
No. I've seen her a few years ago. But I had a list of people who, like, I guess if you were a close friend of mine, like, you matter to me, even if we haven't seen each other in a while. And I still feel that way about, like, I have friends who from high school who RSVP'd that they couldn't come, that, like, if they invited me to their wedding, I would still maybe go to their wedding, like, because that's just the person I am. Like, I think I just, like, care about people more than they care about me, or like, I don't know, I just think when I have relationships with people, they mean something to me that's different than I think for some people it can be so superficial. It's not for me. I don't have superficial friendships like that.
No, I agree.
So Talia, you have superficial fucking family relationships. So anyway, I finally texted, this is one message.
No, this is
where
crazy.
I basically sent the thing July 13th. I just wanted to confirm you're still coming. I need to submit the final guest count this week. I need to know if you're staying at this hotel. If you're staying at another hotel, I need to purchase guest passes for you. Yada, yada. Please let me know when you have a chance. Response, lovely. So excited. Okay. August 15th. I go, August 15th. Now the wedding is August 31st. I leave to go on August 28th. Hey, do you know what day you're getting to Cabo? I just want to make sure I see you and we have time to hang out. hi, please call me when you're not busy. I don't know why I never saw your text above. That was on August 27th, the day before I left. I said, now this is the day before I'm leaving for the wedding. And if you listen to my last episode, you know I was also dealing with my house being renovated at the same time. Like, there's a lot going on. I go, and I'm like, I'm not getting on the phone with you now. I've gotten on the phone with you so many times. You told me you're coming. This is the day before I leave for my fucking wedding. I said, I'm super busy today. I'm running around and I'm leaving tomorrow. Can we text? Basically, I don't want to share all of this personal information that was shared, but let's just say, actually, a few days ago, something personal, she says, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I'm so sorry. I know sorry isn't enough. At this point, there's nothing I can do, unfortunately. I know you spent a fortune on each guest, because not only did I say that she say she's coming, but I also paid for her friend to come. Not even like a boyfriend. It was just a friend. I know you spent a fortune on each guest. I'll compensate for all costs that went to me and my guests. I know that doesn't cut it. I really want to go to such a special one-time lifetime event. So sorry again. I want to tell you directly. I thought that was more respectful, as you are my sister / best friend, but I know you're busy. If you want to yell at me or take out your anger on me,
what?
Totally
Wait, you never read this to me.
I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at Talia's response. I'm not laughing at what she said. If you want to yell at me or take your anger, I totally get it. I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm kind of trapped in this situation. I thought I could make it work. At the end of the day, I guess I can't. I'll make it up to you in other ways, because it truly breaks my heart. I love you. And I never answered, because to me, it was like, I felt as if you knew this and you could have told me before the day before.
Because you would have booked it, and then you would have been like, oh shit, like I booked this and now
Right. You would have booked it and you didn't come, but you didn't book anything. And I just felt like, okay, my feeling in the moment was like, okay, so compensate me, because why did I pay for you guys to come?
Yeah.
And not only that, my whole seating charts were messed up. Like, I had her sat at my basically childhood friend's table, which was like one of my smaller tables. So that ended up leaving that table with like a lot less people than the other tables. Like, I just would have structured things differently. And I really honestly was very upset about this, because I'm like,
it's because like we knew. Like, we knew, but you tried to reassure us over and over and over that that wasn't the case and that you were going to be there. But then it was like, well,
just so bizarre, the whole situation. And like, if them talking about you and you're watching this episode, it's like,
no need to reach out.
No. I just have to say that, like, I feel in that, okay, I'm not saying this directly to this person. I'm saying in general, what I would have done if this was me is I would have at least sent a gift. I would have said, like, I know this person now spent money on me and my guests to come. I told her basically like 4 days before our wedding, I'm not coming. Like, I can at least send a gift. Like, I had a honey fund.
Doesn't have to be anything like crazy, but something.
Insane to me. I wasn't really a big gift person. Like, there were a lot of people who came to my wedding who didn't give me gifts, but that's okay, because I know you were traveling and that was the gift. I said, like, I would rather somebody come to my wedding and spend the money to come to my wedding and be there with me on this day and not give me a gift than not come because they can't afford to come and give me a gift. That's my feeling. I know not everyone feels that way, but if you RSVP'd you're coming, I paid for you to come, and then you're not even doing all of that, then you can send a gift.
I think, like, also your feelings on everything shift when you're a bride. Like, you understand the inner workings of things. Like, as somebody, I only know this stuff because of seeing you do it. I wouldn't have even, like, not to sound like a literal complete idiot, but like I didn't even know like, oh, it costs like a lot of money for each person to come.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even know these things. So
yeah, and maybe people don't realize that.
No, but then when you're in like your late 20s, like you know that by now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you've never been to a wedding before. Like that's where it's like me and you are kind of like different in that sense that like.
Yeah, I just think that like it is just like, I mean, it's the same thing with being like a wedding vendor versus like being a bride. Like I'm now a wedding vendor because now we do content for brides, and like the tipping culture, like I didn't really tip most of my vendors. I mean, I feel like, for example, my photographer and videographer, like I didn't tip them, but like I paid for them to go to be at this resort for 3 days. So to me, that's like a little bit of a tip. I know that that's like part of it. Like, yes, I wanted them to come. Of course, they can't just come for 1 day, but like I didn't tip them on top of the $8,000 I paid them. Yeah.
But it's also, I feel like things are different with a destination wedding. Like you have to factor that in. It's not the same as like being local.
Yeah. So I didn't like pay, like I didn't really tip, but like now, like I think about my content creator and like she did kind of do a lot of stuff for me for the day that like I probably should have tipped her.
Yeah.
Now being a content creator and getting a tip and knowing like it's so nice to be tipped. So like you do learn things as you go. And like I understand that. And I did tip, like I tipped the girl who like coordinated my whole wedding and like oversaw everything and stuff. But like for some of the other people, like I just didn't. So
yeah, you know who really deserved a tip? The DJ.
Oh no!
I swear, this man literally. I had my drink and I was like, I wasn't all over the place or anything like that, but I was like, oh hey, like, do you think you could play this song? He literally pushed me back and was like, watch your drink, or said something nasty, and I was like, oh, you better watch your mouth. Now that's what you better watch.
No, the DJ was horrible. No, I have to say that the one thing that I wish that I did not like pick based on cost was the DJ.
No, but like it didn't matter that much, but it was more so we were just
it does though. It shifts like the energy of the whole party. Like at one point he's like, okay, the bride and groom, we're gonna have you come to the middle of the dance floor. We have a big surprise.
A surprise.
And I'm like, a surprise? Like, oh my God, what surprise is gonna happen? And we're standing there and everyone's just kind of like watching and I'm like, what is the surprise? Like, and it wasn't a surprise. It was the champagne tower, which was what I brought with me and paid for. So like, that was just like stupid.
It wasn't
like,
a surprise.
There was just things that were so dumb and like things that were executed poorly, like the sparklers, like
oh my God,
coordinating all the time to get people around and then lighting people's and having some lit and not other people lit. Like it looked so good in the video, but like in reality, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like there were just things that could have been done better, and like that has to do with your entertainment company. And I like the thing that was annoying about Hyatt was that you had to pay all these outside vendor fees, which, as you know from the last episode, I ended up getting waived. But when that was only because of
it wasn't initially when
right.
You were
I would have had to pay $1,000 extra dollars for any outside vendor. So like I was like, I can't pay $1,000 for every vendor plus the thousands of dollars it costs.
Yeah.
I ended up going with some of the people that, like, for example, the florals, which were beautiful. Like the florals looked great, and that was the Hyatt's vendor. But like their DJ, if you're getting married, go with DJ Alex. That's who I kept seeing as being the DJ you should use. I wish I would have done that, but I went with the hotel's one. Horrible choice. And I told him at the end, I was like, he should just stop talking because like he was bad. At a certain point though, like as the night goes and people are drinking and people are dancing, like the funny thing for me, which was an oversight on my part, was that like Tyler had songs that he wanted played that were like hip hop rap songs, and I'm like, people don't dance to this. Like this isn't dancing music. Mm-hmm. So I was like, basically like, no, I'm not playing those. And the DJ played a lot, like some of those songs anyway, and those were the most popular ones. Everyone was on. Oh my God, the videos I have of them. I'm gonna have to insert a clip, but like the videos of them, they're all the guys. Like it was crazy, but I guess you have to just know your crowd. But we had a weird crowd, kind of. It was like a mixture of a lot of different worlds, which is
because it's not like as many people. So it's just like all these different worlds colliding, sort of.
Yeah. Oh my God, look at these two squirrels playing. Whenever I've seen two squirrels
Isn't
playing
that like
before.
Mommy and Daddy? Like
what?
Wait, I'll say Mommy and Daddy on the podcast.
Wait, what?
Mom and Dad, that seems weird. Like they were like squirrels. That's like their thing.
Our mom and our dad were squirrels?
Yes, that's their thing. The little squirrel figurines.
What?
There's things about our childhood that Brittany just doesn't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I was going to say that right now?
Yep.
No, I can't do it right now. We have to stay on topic. We'll ask at the end. But look at them playing.
I
was saying that they're playing on this tree. I was saying that I sometimes think it's like Norman and Marley.
Oh.
Yeah. But apparently my mom
No, our mom's still here.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the dance floor. So here's the real story. Here's the real fucking story.
This is the story that I've been waiting the whole episode for. This is the story that I was talking about in the beginning with Brittany that I can't wait for us to get to this part. So, start of the morning, right? We wake up, we're going off campus.
Wait, I think I have to give a background here. So, I wanted to have my wedding on the beach, but I wanted my wedding to be like black tie, very chic. I wanted a dance floor and big string lights. And if you saw my wedding, looked stunning.
We'll insert pictures.
Yeah. Looked
for
stunning.
YouTube watchers.
Looked perfect. But there was some drama. But the thing is with Hyatt, I got a quote through their vendor, and the dance floor alone was going to cost me $15,000, which is just fucking crazy. But I didn't want people on the sand. And being that I was having a destination wedding, like most of my budget went towards the floor and the lights. I wanted a big white dance floor, and then I found this vendor who makes these like hand-painted dance floors in the middle of the dance floor. And I like didn't really care about that.
Also, like hand-painted, it was checkers.
Yeah. But she does make other like very pretty hand-painted whatever. But yes, checkered. But the thing is that through her, I found like she recommended the person who was going to give me the big dance floor for basically half the price. So I got this outside vendor, and even with the outside vendor fee of $1,000, it was still way cheaper than using the vendor through the hotel.
Because it was like a big white floor, only part of it was painted. So it wasn't the same thing.
No, right. She makes the dance floors, but her vendor, which I think that she is in on this business, but she recommended this person. And like the way she communicated with me and talked to me was like, oh, I have this great vendor. You're going to get vendor pricing through me. Where like just made you feel like it was very manipulative. Like, oh, Hyatt is so difficult to work with. They're so overpriced. This, that,
trying to really get to like make you feel like you could trust her on like a friend basis.
Right.
And then
by turning you against Hyatt. And like,
Yeah.
I was already having like some little issues with Hyatt, but like she was really giving me this narrative that like Hyatt was not to be trusted. They're difficult. They don't work well with the brides, that they're just trying to milk you for money. And I'm like believing her. And she's like, I can hook you up with all these different vendors if you want. I can bring things the day of if you want this, that. Like I think she's really trying to get into the whole event planning part of it. And she even texted me at one point and was like, I want to bring my business to New York. I feel like weddings are so expensive in New York. It would be like basically saying like she can get a lot of money here and that she has to raise her prices and all this stuff. So, but then also always telling me I'm getting a great deal with her, which like I was getting a good deal comparatively to the other vendors, but like there's a reason for that. Clearly, like they are not a well-oiled machine. So she basically did all the communicating with me to set up this dance floor. She's the one who sent me the invoices. She's the one who went over the pricing with me. She's the one who helped me figure out the square footage I wanted. She's the one who sold me on the lights from them as well, through this outside vendor. So her name is on the invoice. Her phone number is on the invoice from this other vendor, right? So it looks to me like she works for this other company. And
so if it's not your business, why the fuck would your name be on the invoice?
Right, and your phone number.
Why? Like, no, but in what world would that happen?
It wouldn't.
Would we put somebody else's name and phone number on our invoice?
No. I had to pay the first half wire transfer, which I've never done before. And it's the sketchiest, shadiest thing ever. And once again, when I was doing the wire transfer, who was giving me all the information? Elizabeth. She was name drop.
Elizabeth.
She was giving me the wire transfer information. She was the one telling me like, oh, it's perfectly safe, blah, blah, blah. Fine. So I wire transfer him this money. I'm already like freaked out about that, but whatever. Maybe that's normal. But like, why couldn't I just Venmo you or Zelle you like I did for any other vendor I used, or a credit card or whatever?
Yeah.
No, it has to be wire transfer. So, and then cash balance the day of.
Cash.
Right. So I bring like the balance in cash, which was like maybe like $3,800 cash was like the balance of what I owed them. And I had already sent like $4,200. And that's not including her dance floor, which was like almost $2,000. So I paid these people a lot of fucking money. This was my most expensive vendor, I'm pretty sure. I paid these people like basically like $9,000 altogether for these kind of like two and a half things I got. And I told her I wanted a big, wide dance floor with everything on it. People did not have to touch the fucking sand. So I get down there day of, and she's not there. And I actually texted her a week before and was like, are you going to be there the day of? And she was like trying to play it off like, oh, you're going to be so busy. You're not going to see any of your vendors. Like, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. So I go down there, and Oscar, who is the owner of this company, he
speaks zero English.
Speaks no English. And I speak a little bit of Spanish, but like not enough to get by in this situation. And not if like I'm having an issue. So I go down there to pay him the balance, and I look at the dance floor they're setting up, and I'm like, it kind of like doesn't look right. Like it looks smaller and the wrong shape. I wanted a long rectangle, and that's what I paid for. and I'm seeing like a square, and it's not enough to have like all of my dance floor on it,
The tables,
the bar, the photo booth, like everything that was supposed to be on it, not on it. So I text her, and it's like 9 a.m. and the wedding is at like 5:30 p.m. So like there's a lot of time. And I'm like, hey, I just want to make sure that like the right dance floor is the right floor is being set up because it doesn't look right. And she's like, oh, I'm sure it's fine, but I'll double check with him. But don't worry, like he's not done yet. So I'm like, okay. So like now I have to go to my hair and makeup. I basically like leave it in her hands that she's going to figure everything out because she is the person I've been communicating with for a year about everything. I've never spoken to Oscar. She has done everything for my setup. I get a text at 12:30 p.m. from my coordinator that the floor that is set up is not what I had told her it's going to be. And so everything that I set up, like in my diagram of like where I wanted my tables, where I wanted my stuff, it's not big enough for all of that. So now we have to re-plan where everything's going. And I'm like my wedding is in like fucking 4 or 5 hours. Like I'm getting ready right now. I'm supposed to be enjoying the morning of my wedding, not dealing with this. So I call my brother and I'm like, hey, I'm not even there. Can you please go handle this for me? So he goes down. But once again, like this guy doesn't speak any Spanish. Speak any English. My brother doesn't speak any Spanish. And then I have the girl from the hotel helping kind of, but like they were also a little bit like resistant to helping and like a little bit like too bad because we weren't using their vendor, which is like not really great, but it is what it is. Now I'm traveling back to the hotel and I'm like really stressed out because I'm calling Elizabeth. She's not answering. I'm panicking. I'm like, you told me we're handling this. I told you this like 4 hours ago. So she starts texting me back and is like gaslighting me. And it's like, oh, he's not done. Like he's just taking a little break for lunch. He's going to go get the rest of the floor, blah, blah, blah. This is a lie.
When is this happening?
Right.
At what point? The wedding is now in a couple of hours.
So and they still have to set up the rest of the thing. And my coordinator at the hotel was like, the floor and the lights are up. Like, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, the floor.
Like, there's a system that these things happen. So if the lights and the floor are up, how are you going to change everything underneath it?
Right. Because you have, like, first it's wood, and then it's the white floor, and then it's the dance floor. So, like, it's done. So you're lying to me. And I already paid you. So this is like fucked up because I paid you a wire transfer and cash.
And you can't get any of that money back. So if Oscar left, first off, he has probably no fucking idea what's going on because Oscar wasn't in communication with Brittany at all, like she said.
Right.
But after he leaves with that cash, there's no reason for him to come back and fix anything. He has all of his money and he doesn't have any consequence. Brittany's leaving the state. She's state?
The country.
Brittany's leaving. She's never to return. There's no way.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's never going to affect him again. So it's not like with a credit card you could like say like a chargeback or something like that. Like it was done. He had the money.
Now, thank God for my mother because she's
really, like Brittany said in the last episode, she's really good at like handling
like negative things.
Yeah, like stressful situations. Like she's very good at like
she's not like scared to come across any type of way.
But not in like a Karen kind of way. Like she's just
a little Karen-esque.
I don't think it's very Karen-esque. I think it's more like dominating in the sense of like she's just very like
she's like a boss.
Yeah,
like she's like this is wrong and you're gonna fix it. Like when I was having problems with the stuff in the house, she's like, give me his phone number, I'll call him. Whereas like I don't like confrontation. She's not scared of confrontation. She feels like if you're doing the wrong thing, you have to fix it. She's not scared of that. I like need to adopt that a little bit more, and I actually am getting better at it as time goes on.
Yeah, like like the people called Brittany the other day that are like keep calling her. And she's like, okay, I don't know why you keep calling me.
I'm like, you call me every single day. Can you please take me off of your fucking call list? I don't want solar power fucking house. So my mom...
Yes, she goes down and she's handling this. But also, our mother is supposed to be in pictures
of getting ready. Now, I'm a big content person. So, like, I wanted to do the content of, like, the getting ready. Like, I wanted to do, like, have fun with, like, which we did. We executed the shit out of this.
Yeah, we're not, like, we're just telling you, like, all that went in. Obviously, you could see that everything worked out, as it always does. But just, like, this is what's going on behind the scenes. And it's, like, every wedding kind of has its... Like, it has something like this. I have not been to a wedding yet that everything has gone perfectly. I don't think everything, like, goes perfectly at any wedding.
Right.
Like, there's always something.
But this was a big something.
Yeah.
And the fact that this girl is, like, telling... And my brother now is like, give me Elizabeth's number. I'm going to call her. We're going to figure this out. And
she's lying.
She's lying.
Just lying to Brittany, and then she just
And she's
ghosts.
going, this is what Hyatt always does. like this is just how it is. Like, they always stress out their brides. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, okay, now I know you're lying to me because you were telling me this for months, but you were just saying this to create a narrative that like Hyatt's the problem, and it's not Hyatt, it's you. So I'm like, it's not Hyatt, it's you. Like, you told me this, you told me X, and Y is happening. And the thing is that when I confirmed the balance I had to pay, this is like a perfect example of the kind of person this girl is. I said to her, hey, this is the balance I have to bring with me day of, right? She's like, I think you're overpaying. Like, she's just doing this to try to make herself
It's the kind of person that is like...
We know someone like this. Yes.
I didn't even say anything.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just like you can't trust them.
Yeah.
You can't trust them because they'll just say to every single person what they want to hear so that you like them and you trust them.
So she was like, you're overpaying. And I'm like, this is the invoice. And she's like, oh, I was looking at a different invoice. Because we did have a few, but like once you have a fucking paid invoice, that's your invoice. So she must have mixed up day of like what the size was supposed to be and told him like what we originally talked about instead of what we landed on.
How it was set up was what she sent to Brittany originally. And Brittany declined and said, no, I don't want those dimensions. I want these dimensions. I want it to be like a rectangle.
Right.
So
and that's how I set up the whole party. So like everything, the tables, the booths, like that was all based off of these dimensions that I paid the deposit for. Like I paid more money for what I wanted. For more square footage. So my mom goes down. I'm like freaking out. Talia's like, you need to chill. Like you need to like have fun. And like she really did kind of ruin like my mood in the beginning of my getting ready. Like it took a while for me to get into my groove of like doing content, which was like a huge part of my wedding. Cause like I really did care about the content aspect of it. And we got so many good reels getting ready. So, like, it ended up being fine. But it took a while to break that, like, mental fucking thing she was doing to me. So, anyway, I was, like, really mad about that. Sure, my mom goes down. My mom, thank God for her, because she, like, rearranged it. She gets them to put more floor down somehow. They set up more floor. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it ends up being fine. Like, it looks great. It ends up being fine, but it's just not what I paid for. The photo booth is on the sand. The bar is on the sand. And as I said multiple times, I didn't want anything on the sand. And Elizabeth is saying to me, if they have to tell you some stuff is going to be on the sand, just tell them fine. I said, that's not what I want, though. You're telling me to just tell them fine, but that's not what I paid you for. So don't act as if, like, you're helping me right now. You're fucking me over. So I'm like kind of pissed off at her, and I left it on terms of like, I'm annoyed.
Mindset motivation
podcast as we're just like literally slandering.
Yeah.
Continue.
So anyway, I'm being nice right now because I'm not saying her business name. I'm not saying any of these business
We might
names.
as well.
Might as well, but she'll probably threaten to sue us because.
And this is just the start.
So I'm not gonna whatever. Then during the party, the lights, they also set up the lights. The lights are like flickering. They're not staying on. Now, I didn't even notice, but somebody did come up to me and tell me, like one of the guests, and then my coordinator said to me, like, we're having a problem with the lights. They keep shutting off.
It was something with the generator.
It's their generator. Thankfully, Hyatt plugged the lights into their source, which like they should just do that anyway, but they basically don't to be petty because you're not using their vendor. But they did the right thing and they fixed it, which was the most important thing. So I give Hyatt a little pat on the back for that because that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So everything ends up being beautiful. It works out, but it's not what I paid for. So I leave it on terms with this girl that like, I'm not really happy about that because I paid you like a lot of money for not getting what I wanted.
So a big part of Brittany's process was being in these Facebook groups. It was a big part start to finish because you can't be there hands-on. That was how you were getting, it's kind of like how, like reviews, like Google reviews or like TikTok, like you go to TikTok because you know you're getting someone's authentic review.
Right.
So you're going to these Facebook groups because it's an authentic review and you know that these people aren't just saying something to like sell you on or whatever. You know that they're telling you.
You're getting it from another bride. Yeah, you're getting
and
it from a bride, not the business. So I booked a lot of my vendors based on these Facebook recap reviews of their wedding. So like that's how I figured out like I was okay with the florist. That's how I booked my photo and video. That's how I booked my hair and makeup. Like it was all from these reviews. So of course I'm going to leave my review. So I leave my whole long detailed review recounting all of my vendors and in my
the ups, the downs, like nothing was like anything crazy.
Yeah, and it was just like basically the truth of what happened. It wasn't like anything crazy. And I basically just said that like I can't recommend.
Because also keep in mind, Elizabeth ghosted Brittany.
Oh yeah.
She just ghosted her and stopped answering her.
Mm-hmm. This is my honest feedback of like, I wouldn't recommend using this vendor because I had an issue and it didn't go well. And like, they didn't help me. So would not recommend use someone else.
I said that she should leave a review because something else happened with Elizabeth. I feel like something else happened. And then I said you should leave a review for her company because she ghosted you. You didn't get the amount of square footage. I think this is what it was. You didn't get what you paid for.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, well, then I should really be compensated for the money that I spent that you guys didn't deliver.
Oh, I said that to her.
Yes.
I said to her that I'm not happy. Let me pull it up
because I remember saying like if you went to the store and you bought like 6 bags at Coach or whatever, and then you left and they only gave you 3, wouldn't you be pissed because you paid for 6? Like, it's a product that you paid for that wasn't delivered. It's not just like, oh, well.
So here I have all the messages from the day of. I said to her at 12:15, I just paid, there's a time difference. So it was 9:15 there. Just paid him, just confirming he has the right size. Obviously, they're still setting up. I know they're not done, but we did 64 feet by 36 feet. I just want to make sure that's all correct. I sent her the invoice with her name and her phone number on it and everything that I paid. No worries. I'll message him. I'm sure it's all fine. Then I have a message from my coordinator at almost 1 p.m. that says the measurements are different than the ones we had at the beginning. Your vendor told me the saleswoman already told you about this change. The truth is, since I don't have a quote from them, I can't do much about it. I want to send you a proposal with measurements they confirmed for today, which is 40 feet by 48 feet, which is very different than what I asked for. I'm trying to respect the design we had, but I want to give you priority of the round tables. This is a new tentative layout, like blah, blah, blah. The bar, the photo booth, the DJ, the guest book table will all be on the stand, blah, blah, blah. I text her, hi, can you help me with this? I already paid him. That's not what I paid him for. Hey, yes, he's not done. Who is this? I said, so he's going to fix it to the right dimensions? She goes, the message from ? I said, that's my wedding coordinator, Laura. Oh, okay, she should be speaking to him. She said that's what he said, that I was told there was no change, but we discussed that, so I'm confused. He's taking a small break. I believe he's finished about 50 feet so far. He'll be completing the size. This is completely confusing from what she's saying. The difference is that he was handed a layout with a walkway. That's not on the quote. Is she telling you all of this right now? I said, yes. Oh my God, you know what? This is what happens at Hyatt. The brides are always super stressed out. But in all honesty, if she wants to put a DJ booth on the sand, I would just say whatever. I said,
it's not your wedding, so you don't get to just say whatever.
Yeah. I said, this is what he should have. She said, correct. I said, so based off the design we made, we will fit. She's saying he was told to set up 40 by 48. Ignore her. He's not finished yet. The platform is going to be the right size. This is the Hyatt experience. I'm sorry, but this is normal. I said, my coordinator is standing there right now and says they're almost done. The lining is done. She said, he still has to bring in the remainder of the flooring, and he should be close to finish. I said, I'm in hair and makeup, so I shared your info with my brother. He's down to sort this all out. Please don't worry. The square footage is going to be the same. The coordinator can still put the booths on the platform. I said, it needs to be done now. They need to start setting up the tables. So she's basically saying they have plenty of time. They always act like they don't, but they do. They can't even put the flowers out yet. Everything's fine. I just checked in. Deep breaths. Ignore your coordinator. They're so stressful. Enjoy your time, whatever it is you're doing. I said, well, the floor is not what I wanted. So to be honest with you, I'm not happy. It should have been done earlier the way it was supposed to. I'm also getting less of a floor than I paid for, and I should be reimbursed for the difference. Never answers me. Finally answers me after we leave the Google review, which I didn't even want to really do, but Talia was like, you should, because this is how people decide to work with vendors or not.
You can look at my Google review history. It is only 5-star reviews. I only leave a review when I have a good experience. And my boyfriend, on the other hand, he's a big review guy.
And our family owns a small business, so
we understand what it feels like to get a bad review. So we're not just like mindlessly, like we also now are vendors at weddings, so we understand also how it would feel. But you have to do the right thing and make it right.
Right.
That's what it's all about, is making it right. Like Brittany wasn't like in the wrong here. What she was saying, like logically, like this is justified for her to feel the way she does. If you paid money for something
that you didn't get,
you should get reimbursed. Or just like say sorry. Or like show some like
don't like gaslight me and tell me that like, oh, everything's gonna be fine. They're always stressing out their brides. No, that's not what's happening.
Because at the end of the day, what happened is she just stopped answering. And it didn't get changed. It only got changed because our mom went down and was speaking with them and it did literally directing them where to like put the stuff.
Yeah, we did end up getting more like square footage than the 40 by 48, but it still isn't what I paid for, and it's not the design I paid for. So, and not to mention all the fucking stress and like basically robbing me of my joy the day of.
Yeah.
So, long story short, I don't want to go through reading all the messages right now, but she basically, I leave this
It's literally
review.
an energy drainer to read through the messages.
Yes.
Like, we can't even do that.
So
It's
I
too
read.
much. It's like reliving it.
Right. So I write my review. I share the review that I put in the Facebook group on her Google page. And I left it for her because instead of the other company, because they don't have a Google review page, first of all, and second of all of my communication was with her. So my review was really about my communication with her, not the company.
Yeah, it wasn't even so much about that. It was more just about, like,
It was more about
her.
the fact that I had an issue and the person who was the person I coordinated everything with and worked with over the last year ghosted me and didn't do the right thing by me and
which
lied
is
to
literally
me.
a nightmare for a destination like bride. Your nightmare is like just no like, because that's all it takes is like for them to just stop
Oh yeah, they
answering
can
you.
just not answer you and then you're done.
Yeah.
And the thing is I never expected money back. What I expected back was like, I'm so sorry. How can I make this a better experience for you? Or like just validate the fact that something went wrong and like and offer to, I paid her via Venmo for her dance floor. So she could have sent me back something. But her whole premise of her response back to us was we left reviews. I left my review, Talia left her review, and her boyfriend left their review. And their reviews were saying my sister and my sister-in-law went through this.
Yeah.
It wasn't them saying they went through this.
And honestly, I'm pretty sure my review was like nice. All I said was like, what did I say? Like, it, like,
I was just saying that like my sister went through this and like she didn't make it right and she should like respond to my sister.
yeah, it was more so my review was about Elizabeth ghosting her. And like, listen, it might have been dramatic. Maybe I didn't have to leave a review, but I just felt like seeing Brittany's raw emotions through all of it. I was like, I was the one like with Brittany the whole time from like the start of the wedding day. So like I saw all her like highs and lows of like feeling these feelings and having to be like, okay, I have to just like put this aside. Otherwise I'm going to like ruin my wedding day. And it's really like not right. So I was more like, that's not right. And she shouldn't have ghosted her and she should answer her and she should really.
And that's the thing. It's like, if you're not responding to your client, then
you can't be mad when they leave a review.
And also like, this is how we get a response is by leaving a review. You know,
a response. All right.
So she, texts me and basically tells me that I have to take down my review and my two friends have to take their reviews down, or she is going to take legal action against me. And I'm like, take legal action for what? All I'm doing is reviewing your business. So I basically was like, Elizabeth, you didn't even like try to, I feel like.
No, we don't even have to get into it. It's just like, oh, welcome back to the chat, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming back and answering me after I told you I wasn't happy and I really should be like compensated.
She then said that I was trying to extort her for money because she said, so what you're saying is that if I pay you, then you'll take your reviews down. That's all I needed to see. I'll send this to my legal team. Go ahead, send it to your legal team because
literally
evil
and just crazy. Like,
and
she
like,
didn't make sense.
This is not who you want to work with on your wedding day. So you want to fucking threaten me and tell me I'm extorting you and you're going to sue me? No problem. I'm going to update my Google review now. So then I update my Google review to share my post-review experience. And I basically just said to this girl, like, if you would have just apologized to me and just said that, like, I'm really sorry that things are going this way. And, like, really what she should have done is got in her car, come there and handle this because it was something going wrong. And even if it's not her business, her whole thing was like, well, this isn't my business. This is this other business and I had nothing to do with it. So when she claimed, because she wrote a counter review saying that she had nothing to do with even the coordination, the communication, okay, no problem. Let me screenshot all of my emails with you of you doing that, and then you'll see the truth. So people can now see this review and make their own educated decision if they want to work with this vendor or not. Yeah, she took Talia's down somehow, but me and Talia's boyfriend are still up. But like, it's just, the thing is I wasn't out to do this to like ruin someone's life or ruin someone's business. But like, if she would have said like, I'm really sorry, I didn't realize how upset you were about this. And like, let's figure out a way to like, maybe I can, as I've been your source of communication throughout this whole process, let me speak to the owner of this company, since I have nothing to do with it supposedly, and see if they can credit you back for the floor you did not get. She didn't go that route and instead tried to play dumb. So this is the reaction. And guess what? I never got sued because there's nothing to sue me over. So that was that. But that was just like the craziest thing that happened in the whole process. But
there was a lot of good things. Like we're only.
You need your mic. There's so many great things about the wedding though. Like no regrets.
Yeah, no,
this was the drama, and this is what you guys.
This is the
hear,
debrief.
right?
But everything was there. the drama. I mean, there was a whole table of people who RSVP'd, they were coming, who didn't show up. That was crazy. My husband was drunk the whole day. He was an hour late to the first look. There was a lot that happened.
Her makeup came off her nose.
Oh,
and my boyfriend had to run.
Wait, hold on. My makeup came off my nose. I have my makeup airbrushed on. We're kissing for this stuff. I have no lip liner, no lip makeup, and a whole chunk of fucking makeup missing. Why did my photographer think that this was normal? I have video of I'm like, and I'm like, I have no lip on my top lip. Like, how? And the thing that was so dumb of me, brides, if you have a dress with pockets, put your lip product and whatever in your pocket.
I don't think people have pockets.
Well, mine had a dress with pockets.
That's niche.
Okay, well, I had no foundation to fix. My friend had to go, my pregnant friend and Talia's boyfriend had to go run to go find foundation for me.
Because me and Brittany don't wear foundation.
Right.
Like, we have, like...
We just do the
skincare makeup.
Skincare makeup. So, mommy, skincare makeup.
She ended up fixing her makeup and it ended up
being great.
Did I fix your makeup?
I think so.
We were trying to put powder on it and it was just spreading and taking more makeup off her nose. And then I was just like, I can't, like, Brittany was looking at me with, like, the panic eyes and her little, like, she'll do, like, a soft smile and panic eyes. Like, tell me if it's okay or if it's not. And I was just like, it's okay. Like, we're going to make it work.
It ended up being fine somehow.
No, it was. We did a little bit of foundation with a little bit of bronzer, a little powder.
Yeah, it ended up being fine, but, like, the kissing content on the beach with the airbrush, it was just a literal, like...
Beware.
It was perfection, and then it was just, like, splotchy nose. It's like when you have a peeling sunburn. Like, that's what it looked like.
Because also...
And no lip!
She had a makeup kit with, like...
Everything
but foundation, because it was airbrushed, though.
Yeah, so anyway...
You can't, like...
There were things that were, like, going wrong, but it didn't ruin... Like, the day was great. I mean, we had fun. It was beautiful. Also, everyone's like, oh, you won't be able to be on your phone. I straight up had my phone at the wedding. Like, I took videos on my phone. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just the kind of person you are, but, like, I had so much fun. The people who were supposed to be there were there. Yeah. That's the other thing I want to talk about. I only wanted people at my wedding that were genuinely there to celebrate the wedding, not because they were supposed to be there or because they thought they were supposed to be there. So, like, I wanted...
And that we're going to bring good energy and it was going to be fun.
Right. And I feel like even though, like, my wedding ended up being, like, 65 people altogether, and I invited, like, 140. So... It was, like, half, basically, what I invited. I knew not everyone was going to come.
But then you have to, like, do your invites that are just, like...
Yeah. And then there were people who I really wanted to be there that weren't able to come. And, like, it is sad. And you do, like, wish that they were there. But, like, at the end of the day, looking back on it, like, everyone who was supposed to be there was there for the most part. There's, like, maybe one person that I, like, wish could have been there. Like, I wish my grandma could have been there. That's, like, probably the main person.
Was a whole thing, though. It wasn't, like,
It's not a drama thing.
No.
She's,
like, an immigrant.
I don't know if we should expose her.
It was, like, because it was out of the country. It was, like, legal documents.
Yeah, she needed some legal documents she didn't have at the moment. And was in the process of renewing and stuff. And, like, so I wish my grandma could have been there. That was, like, maybe the main person. But, like, at the end of the day, that, like, if you don't talk to somebody for, like, a year, it's, like, maybe it's going to be a little weird if you don't talk to them for a year and they come. And, like, there's no hard feelings on that. Like, it shouldn't be, at least. Yeah, Griffin has his opinion.
Oh, no, he's whining.
I don't know. This is a whole other thing in itself. And, like, let's just say that at the end of the day, everyone who was supposed to come and that it would have been normal and feeling good was there. And, like, it was good. It was good how it was. There's a lot being unsaid right now.
Yeah.
But we had a great time.
I missed the bouquet toss, which I was like, okay, now's the perfect time to go to the bathroom. Because let's be real, I was the life of the party. I needed to take a minute to go potty. Go over. Also, the one thing I will say is the alcohol is fake there.
Yeah.
It's literally fake. You can't drink, like, you have to drink, like, wine to get drunk there. Mm-hmm. Like, I was, like, drinking these drinks that are mocktails. Like, don't even tell me there's alcohol in here. I'm seeing them pour the alcohol, so I'm like, what's in the bottle? Is it water? Okay, have to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom, and then I come back. I'm hearing them say, okay, whatever, like, playing the Mamma Mia song that she had selected to happen at that time. And, like, I knew what songs were playing for what, because literally the morning of, Brittany's like, what song should I play?
Yeah,
like,
in the car, that's
in the car
makeup.
To the hair and makeup, which
I'm
is
like,
so
oh,
not
what
like
should
her.
I do for, like, walking out?
Yeah.
I guess the music part's not really my thing because I'm really, like, a Taylor Swift listener, and that's about it.
All right, that's dramatic. So then I'm walking back and I hear the fucking thing going. I'm running. I'm like, I'm not going to make it in time. I just feel like that's kind of something I should have been there for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what if I caught it?
It was just so chaotic, the whole thing. Like, the whole wedding
But it kinda
process,
was,
like not
fun.
knowing what was happening when. But, like, it really was great. And then we went to the bar
Yeah,
after.
then we went to this, like, bar.
But not Tyler. Oh, no. Let's talk about Tyler. First of all, Tyler had to go take a timeout during the wedding. He literally was so drunk at one point. I was like, can you?
Off of what?
He doesn't drink, so he smokes. But you can't smoke there because it's, like, illegal. So,
What?
and, like, severely illegal where they're going to, like, deport you. Well, deport, we're not citizens there. But, like, you'll go to jail. So, like,
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like, they still, like, he had, like, a pen. But then, I don't know what happened. But because he couldn't smoke as per usual, he was drinking.
And then you get twisted.
And then he had a friend who literally, there's so much to talk about.
And he had a friend who was literally wearing cargo shorts.
So he had a friend.
I'm sorry.
Wait, that's what I'm telling. That's what I was
Okay,
telling
go
you
ahead.
about. He had a friend who flew there the morning of the wedding and left the next day. Like, didn't even have a room at the hotel.
Just came in.
Just came for the wedding, which was very nice.
But like off the plane
Came
in
with Jordans,
a
cargo shorts,
a button down, like
and a hat,
shirt, and a hat.
and a Yankee hat. And I'm like, it's black tie optional, but okay. So
He really said optional.
so anyway, and he was really fun. I mean, he was part of the person doing the chairlift.
It was great.
It
It was like the character.
It was really, like, yeah, something like that had to happen at my wedding. But Tyler saw him, and then he was drinking, and then I'm like calling him for the first look, and I'm like, you're supposed to be here. I've been waiting for you for 30 minutes. He's like, oh yeah, I'm coming with Poncho. I'm like, you don't come with Poncho. It's the first look. You come alone. Like, what are you talking about? Long story short, he's drunk for the whole party, whole thing. I mean, it was probably good, but like, we're sitting down. Like, it was very good. Like, the ceremony was cute. He was crying, whatever.
He was drunk there?
He was drunk at the first hotel. He was drunk the whole time. Then. He was drunk.
Okay.
But it was maybe not to the point where then it got really bad. But then he, at the party, like after we do the first dance.
Is he going to be okay with this?
And we do the first dance, whatever. We're sitting down for dinner and he's crying as we're sitting down for dinner. And he's going, it's you and me now. And I'm like, what about the last 10 years? Like, what do you mean it's you and me now? But he was like so out of his mind to the point where eventually I said to his cousin, like, I think he needs to go like sober up. Then my brother's going, I have something I can give him that'll sober up. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, and that's the funny part about weddings, like worlds colliding, especially for the destination because you're together for like multiple days. So it's like Tyler's cousin and my brother talking about what they're going to do to sober him up. And I'm like, this is so weird. It's like very like interesting. He had to go for a little bit to go like sober up. But the thing is that then I felt like my friends were kind of looking at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. Like I can have fun. I don't have to have fun the whole night just with him. Like I can have fun.
But also the thing about Brittany is she doesn't like let things like all the things that happened should have like ruined the day. Like she should have been like all these other brides I've seen over like little things at like the weddings we've done, they're like freaking out. They're like it's like bridezilla coded. She's like the opposite from that, so things don't really like get to her that much. So she's just like, okay, like when her makeup was coming off her face, she was like, okay, can we fix it? Like it's not like I would have been like my day's ruined.
Well, I was a little bit more panicked for that because I was like, I don't want to keep taking pictures that I know I'm not going to like, so I need to fix it.
She wasn't acting like
no, I was calm.
It actually would have been like appropriate for her to react. She wasn't. She was actually very calm.
I was calm. So Tyler was drunk the whole thing, but it was fine. Like it was fun because he's kind of like shy. So he doesn't usually like when we go to weddings, he doesn't really like to dance at the weddings. He was like his shirt was off. He was like doing this. Like he was like
in a
wife beater at his wedding, at his black tie optional wedding. But like it was kind of fun. Like I feel like everyone had fun. Everyone loosened up. It was good. But he was like
because also Brittany is one of her biggest things she was worried about was people not dancing.
Yes.
So everyone danced. Everyone had fun.
It was fun. Like
then our younger brother, had one too many.
Oh my god! Yeah, I can tell the story. So basically, long story short, we'll just say that Dane had one too many strawberry daiquiris, but virgin, and he threw up. And I literally went over to tell my mom a story, and then all of a sudden he stands up and he just but he has autism.
Yeah.
So like
he like stood up. I think he turned around and he went in the sand and he threw up and then he was fine.
Like it was like nothing happened. But like I don't know if it was like a sugar high or if they like maybe gave him not a virgin strawberry daiquiri.
Oh, I never
That
thought
was
about
my
that.
conspiracy.
Oh.
But Evan said he tried them all before he gave them.
But
to
it was
him.
like not real alcohol.
But that's the
remember?
thing. It was like fake alcohol, so like you couldn't really think. But like obviously, if you've never drank it before in your life and you have 3 strawberry daiquiris,
Oh my
no,
god.
is mommy gonna kill us or saying this?
No,
Oh.
we think they were virgin. That's what we ordered.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's like underage.
No,
he just
he's
has
legal.
autism.
Yeah.
So he doesn't drink. As you're seeing, this is quite the debrief. It was a whole shebang. But what I will say is we did 3 days before wedding day, 3 days after us. We had the best time ever. We went, well, me personally, two of my best friends and Tyler went off property to this like beautiful beautiful restaurant, Sunset Mona Lisa, for dinner one night. It was like perfect. We had such a great time in Cabo, and there was like 24/7 ice cream. There was like good restaurants. The food was pretty good. The pools were like beautiful. There were multiple pools. We just had such a great time. 1,000% recommend doing the destination wedding. The wedding looked perfect. I mean, if you look at pictures and content, like I can't wait to get my video, like actual video back from them.
There was like swim out pools for some of our rooms. So like I had a swim out room, and like a couple doors down was our brother and his girlfriend had a swim out room. Our mom had a swim out room on the other side. So it was like really nice that it was all like swam out to the same pool. So like we could just be outside like in our little pool area hanging out. The rooms were so nice. The food was really good. Service was great. Every time they saw you, they would like bow at you. I don't know what that was about, but then I think Al went to go do it back. I was like, no. Don't bow back at them.
I have to say I'm happy to close the wedding chapter. It was all consuming of my life. It's a lot being a bride. So if you have
We agreed as a union to get her
all my
video.
raw videos.
Yeah, which 10 out of 10 recommends.
Yeah. So we are still creating content with it and stuff. And like I love talking about it. It's fun, but like it was planning it and stuff. It was lonely at times. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. It was so much fun. I have highlights on my Instagram if you want to go through and see like what it was like. There was like a foam party one day, and that was like basically all included.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't have to pay for any of that. It was just that we were all able to hang out and be together. Like imagine it's your wedding day and you wake up the next day and that was the thing I wanted to say about Tyler being drunk is then I bring Tyler up to the room, and I had a dress with buttons on the back of it that had like loops. And I needed him to help me get out of my dress because then everyone was going to the bar.
And like everyone was changing. Like they were all wearing like pajamas.
So I was going to change and go down to the bar and with him, I thought. And he literally face plants and falls asleep on the fucking floor. Like his body's not even like lateral. He's literally like, I don't even know what he was doing. He was smushed and he just falls asleep on the floor. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the bar. Like, I'm not going to stay in here with drunky pants. Like, so then Talia had to come to my room and unloop me and take me out of my dress. But then we went down to the bar. We extended the party a little bit. It was just fun. And then the next day, wake up, go down to the pool, hang out, like so chill. And like, that is the way to do your wedding. Like you get to go fucking down to, you're on a tropical fucking resort for your wedding. You get to wake up, go down and like have a few more days in paradise.
How could you not want to do that?
Oh my God. It was the best decision ever.
Even with all the chaos, like everything was literally perfect. Everything,
my vision did come to life. Like,
everything she wanted, like it was even better than like her Pinterest board. Like it was just perfect. It was beautiful. 10 out of 10. The best wedding I've been to. And now we've been to a lot because like we'll talk about that in another episode.
It's my favorite wedding as well.
Yeah.
Even though it was my own, like if I went to that wedding, I would have.
The energy was just good. It was just fun. It was just fun.
Chill. There wasn't
you're
too many
outside.
people.
You're on the beach. Like you're dancing.
The weather was perfect, and the thing is that it was like hurricane season, so that's why it was like cheaper and not as many people.
But
there.
then people are trying to like psych her out. And be like, "Oh, you're sure you want to go that time of year?" Blah blah blah. It's like, no, you need to just.
You don't know that hurricanes don't happen to me. Like
you need to stay away.
Yeah, only good things happen to me. So like everything
that
happened.
Back to the beginning of the episode. That feels like about 3 hours ago.
Yeah,
that we really have to wrap things up, but that like you can't talk about, you have to be selective with who you decide to talk about these things with, because some people are just not going to give you,
people want to see you fail. Like, they want to see things go wrong for you. They like it.
Yeah.
Like they are preying on your downfall.
They're just like, if you say something good, they're like, but what if this happens? opinions.
Mhm.
And it's like, no,
And
there's
also
no
having
room for that.
Yeah.
And as the person on the receiving end of that, it's okay for you guys to be like, that's okay. You can keep that to yourself.
And that's the thing, is like surrounding yourself with people who like during those moments of stress are not going to stress you out, because like even though everything was going wrong, like my friends weren't like sitting there like
Talking
about it
Yeah.
or negative. They were just like kind of like, okay, well, like how can we make it better? Like let's, like my one friend Maddie was like, okay, well, let's do this now. Like let's start the content. Like everyone is just, that I am around is like a pretty positive person for the most part. So like nobody was sitting there in the drama.
Yeah.
Everyone was kind of like, it's going to be fine. And I think you just have to be around people that like are going to do that. Like that's how I feel like I've been as a vendor at these weddings, is that when things are going wrong, I'm like, don't worry, this happens to everyone. Like
That's
it's
who
not a big
Brittany is,
deal.
though. Brittany's a problem solver. So that's like, she's easily steps into that role. So I think people were just kind of like mirroring the energy that you usually give off.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm a problem solver only at these weddings, because you have to step into the role of like, as a vendor, like being their best friend. Like you have to be their best friend. You have to tell them it's all gonna work out.
That was like the bulk of the wedding debrief. That was really like all of the tea. But
And let us know if you guys like, I think this is really just going to take over as our new style of like, this was way more chit-chatty, way less structured. This is really just us in our truest form. So I think that stay tuned. Let us know if you like this style of us. Obviously, we're still going to give you advice. We're not going to leave you high and dry, but
that is the wedding debrief for you. It was overall 10 million stars out of 10, but there was a few bumps in the road. But all you have to know is that when I look back on my wedding day, this is not really the main things I think about. This is just the debrief. This is the brain dump of like, let's just bye-bye. That's all for now, folks. But when we really think about the wedding, it's like all of the gorgeousness, stunningness of the day. And it was fun. And at the end of the day, when you're stressing out about your wedding, just know it's just a party. Like that's what I kept saying whenever I was like, oh, if this person's not going to come, this person's not going to come. I'm like, it's just a party. It's not that serious. Like at the end of the day, this is just a fun thing. And it's really about the bride and the groom. So it's really whatever we want. It doesn't really matter what you want or what you think it should be about the other people. It's not about what your mother-in-law thinks or what you think, or it is what you think, of what your mom thinks or your dad thinks or your cousin thinks or your friend thinks. It's about what you want.
and what your sister thinks.
Obviously. But yeah, so I would just say if you're a bride, don't stress the little things. Do what you want to do. You only hopefully like get married. Well, I don't want to say you only hopefully get married once, because if you got married before and you want to get married again, I hope you get married again. But like, just remember, it's just a party. It's not that serious. And I do think quality over quantity in terms of the people there.
100%. And I think even Brittany, we could do like a little Q&A if you want to ask her questions about the bridal planning process. What are you looking at?
I was just seeing the color.
Oh. About the bridal planning process. I'm sure she can offer you words of wisdom and a little bit of guidance.
I think that pretty much concludes this episode, this probably 2-hour long episode.
No,
of
but
the
it was literally like there wasn't a way for us
it.
to make it any shorter.
But let us know what you guys want us to chat about on the next episode. You can like leave us little comments on YouTube, or you can message us on our Instagram. And cheers.
Cheers. Finished our energy sticks. That's all for now, folks.
Bye.
Bye.